Hi, my name is Mark Milne. I'm the Director of Finance for the town of Barnstable. I'm here to present to you the fiscal year 2024 proposed capital budget and our 2024 to 2028 five-year capital improvement plan. Why do we prepare a five-year capital improvement plan? Well, these must be submitted at least 30 days prior to the operating budget, and they have to be acted upon before the first day of the last month of the current fiscal year, or May 31st. The town manager's regulations require a task force to evaluate these projects, and any project less than $50,000 would be considered as part of our operating budget. Projects that are equal to or greater than $250,000 are eligible to be financed with a bond issue, or they could be cash financed. The purpose of preparing a capital budget there are several factors. These are large expenditures that require more scrutiny by the community. We need to consider what the future impact on growth might be for our community, operating budgets, and service levels. These are decisions that do not repeat every year, so the consequences of an error could be much higher, and large fluctuations obscure our operating budget. Many of these issues or items are also financed with debt issuances. These lock up future operating budget dollars, decreasing our budget flexibility, and binds future governing boards. They also help us establish priorities. While many of these projects will not necessarily receive financing in the year requested, they don't lessen the need for those capital projects, and it assists us in coordinating or aligning these projects with other plans, such as the Town Council Strategic Plan and our local comprehensive plan. Our budget document is broken up into 6 different sections. Part 1 includes the project submissions from every department for the next 5 years. We have a total of $670 million of project submissions, about $106 million in fiscal year 24, $285 million in 25, $90 million in fiscal year 26, $113 million in fiscal year 27, and $75 million in fiscal year 28. About $300 million of these submissions are comprised of comprehensive wastewater management plan projects, our largest capital program. Those have been separated out even though they're part of the sewer enterprise operation. But the rest of the enterprise funds include $153 million in submissions, and our general fund projects include $224 million in submissions. So how do we go about evaluating what to bring forward for a proposed funding? It's a 2-part review process, which is detailed in Part 2 of the capital budget program. The first review process includes going through every project that is requested for funding in the immediate fiscal year and ranking it in accordance with 4 separate priority criteria. 1 being imperative, 2 being an essential project, 3 being an important project, and 4 being a desirable project. Once the projects are ranked in accordance with these 4 criteria, the task force then takes on a second ranking process that involves looking at 10 different criteria that are closely aligned with the Town Council Strategic Plan and evaluating whether or not it has a high impact, medium impact, low impact, or no impact in relation to that one of those 10 specific criteria. The projects are then scored and ranked after those 2 evaluation processes are followed through with, and Part 2 summarizes how those projects ranked. Part 3 of the Capital Improvement Plan document includes a review of existing appropriations to see whether or not projects have been completed and balances remain that can be redirected towards funding some other project. For the general fund, we have 111 active projects, and we've identified 4 projects that have about $845,000 remaining that can be repurposed for the fiscal year 2024 plan. Within the enterprise funds, we have about 70 active projects, and we've identified 7 projects totaling about $394,000 that can be repurposed for the fiscal year 24 plan. And under the Comprehensive Wastewater Management Plan, we have about 20 active projects, all of which are still actively being implemented and no available balances that can be redirected. Part 4 of the budget document illustrates a 5-year funding plan of what we could potentially fund. Under the general fund, we have existing resources that can fund about $14 million of capital every year, consisting of about $10 million in new borrowing authorizations and $4 million in cash. For the Comprehensive Wastewater Management Plan, we need to identify over $9 million more in annual reoccurring resources to fully implement the projects requested over the next 5 years. And under the enterprise funds, we're projecting that we will require rate increases of anywhere from 5 to 7% per year to fully implement every project that is being requested for the enterprise fund operations. Part 5 of the Capital Improvement Plan document includes the proposed capital plan for fiscal year 2024. We are proposing a total of 53 projects that amount to about $67.6 million. We have 5 projects for the Comprehensive Wastewater Management Plan, totaling $33,550,000. We have 7 Airport Enterprise Fund projects totaling $4.6 million. We have 1 HYCC Enterprise Fund project for $1,752,000. We have 6 Water Enterprise Fund projects totaling just over $7 million. 2 Solid Waste Enterprise Fund projects for $100,000, 3 Sewer Enterprise Fund projects for $7 million, 3 golf projects for $736,000, 1 Sandy Neck project for $50,000, 1 Marina project for $195,000, and 24 General Fund projects totaling $12,346,000. We're proposing to use almost $11.7 million in cash reserves to fund these projects, requesting $54.4 million in new borrowing authorizations, and we've identified almost $1.6 million of remaining funds from completed projects that will be redirected towards this $67 million proposed plan. Finally, included in Part 5 is the anticipated subsequent requests that we've listed that has another 8 projects that will potentially receive community preservation funding. One of those projects is on the agenda for Thursday evening for the Osterville Playground. That project has gone through the Community Preservation Committee's review and approved for funding. And then there's about 6 other projects on that list that will eventually go to the Community Preservation Fund first for consideration before it comes before the Town Council for their consideration. And those projects total about $11.5 million. And finally, Part 6 of the Capital Improvement Plan includes all of the projects that are deferred in the out years of the plan, but we've provided a brief description of what those are. That concludes my presentation on the proposed capital budget. Thank you very much.